Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're all keeping really well and safe. Now today I'm going to be repotting two of our Opuntia subulata cactus plants, and these rather wacky, sort of unusual type of cacti. I've got two different types here to show you. This is the more commonly seen Opuntia subulata, which has the lovely sort of cylindrical, lovely long stems here. And then we've also got the more miniature compact form, which is called the Opuntia subulata gumpy. What a name. And it's more of a compact form, like a monstrose form there. I'm going to be repotting these two in this video, so I've got the two little different examples to show you here. Now this is one that we've got probably a few years ago now, but this one is one that we actually got from our wonderful friend Olga from Olga's Greenland, and Olga gave it to us as a cut-in probably about 2-3 years ago, and it has grown so much, guys. When we first got it was about that high, and as you can see it was in the right size pot, and last year it just went whoop, huge growth. So as you can see, I'm pretty sure now that this is going to definitely need a repot. And this one here is pretty much okay. There's no roots coming back. In fact, I'll probably put this into the same pot. I just want to change the soil, because it's good to refresh the soil every couple of years, even if they don't need a bigger pot. So this is a little bit about this amazing cactus. Well, it has in its natural habitat, has lovely sort of red flowers. They rarely sort of flower in cultivation unless it gets huge, and obviously you have to have a huge greenhouse. They can grow this. The monstrose one is more compact and grows more like a shrub. But the more commonly seen Opuntia subulata, this can grow quite tall in its natural habitat and also branch out. Quite a beautiful, beautiful cactus. And then it will form little red flowers. So you never know, we might get flowers one day from these. And what I recommend, now remember that we live here in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, so my care tips is going to be very different compared to your climate. But our climate is very sort of damp and humid in the winter time. So we would overwinter these cacti cool and dry as we can anyway, by not watering them at all. So they have a completely dry overwintering rest period at a minimum of 5 degrees Celsius, which is about 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I know a lot of you will say, look, these particular Opuntias can take much colder temperatures than that. But because we are in Ireland and we have high humidity, that's why we keep it that bit warmer, obviously, which I say minimum 5°C, 41 degrees Fahrenheit. No water at all during the winter rest period. And then from spring, from sort of late April to May time, would water this sort of once every 1 to 2 weeks, depending on when the soil in the pot has dried out. We wait until the soil has completely dried out in the pot before we water again. And then we'll fertilise once sort of every 2 to 3 weeks with a cactus and succulent fertiliser, and also a tomato feed fertiliser at half strength as well to encourage it. This, as I say, has to grow quite large before it will bloom, but still, you never know. Maybe one day for us. And I've made quite a few videos on how we fertilise our cacti and things like that, so do check that out if you want to, guys, as well. And also I've made a video on how to repot a cactus, where I show 2 different examples in that video. So if you want to know on how to repot a cactus, you've not done it before, then do check out the video, links up above. And before I go any further, I want to give a very special thank you to my wonderful fiancé Hans, who is behind the camera filming me today, so I've got my hands free. So if you're not familiar with Hans' amazing channel, Family of Cactus and Other Beauties, do go over and subscribe, links up above. So thank you, Hansi, for filming.
Thank you.
And here we go, a little bit of repotting. As I say, I've made repotting videos before. Now, you might ask, why am I not using gloves? Well, with these particular cacti, it's easy for me to just go like that. I think I've got leather hands by now. But if you're handling very spiny cacti, for example, if these spines were all over this plant there, I would recommend using sheets of either thick paper, like newspaper, or pieces of card. Or what you can even do is turn another plastic potty pot upside down to keep your hands safe. I wouldn't recommend doing it with bare hands, but in this case I'm going to be okay with it. So that's why people often say, why do you not wear gloves, Lynn? And what we've done here, we like to use a very well draining cactus and succulent soil. So this particular cactus, as a lot of the cacti do, like a very well draining soil, so it dries out quickly in between waterings. And this we've made a mix of 3 equal parts of a loam based soil. In this case I'm using John Innes number 2 with lava rock and pumice and a bit of extra added sand as well, all mixed in, so it's very, very well draining there. So that's what we're going to be using with these cacti. So here we go then, guys. And as I said, this cactus does love plenty of sunshine. Just thought I'd share a few little care tips while I'm doing the repotting. As much sunshine as you can give it. So don't have this cactus growing in a dull place. So there we go. It's going to be squeezing the pot just to loosen it up. And these are easy pots to squeeze, these sort of flimsy type of pots. Wow, that is definitely in need of a repot, as you can see there. And what I like to do, obviously, when I'm repotting, is always good to check over the root system, to check that you haven't got any root mealybugs and rotten roots and things like that. If the roots are rotten or anything, you need to cut them back and then let the plant stay out unpotted for 2 to 3 days, depending on the size of the cut there. And just show you there. Now what I'm going to be doing, the roots are quite compact, but I do like to loosen up the roots a little bit before I put it into the new soil. So I'm just going to very gently tease the roots there. I'm not going to disturb them too much. They look pretty good. And I always like to not disturb the roots well, I prefer not to disturb them as little as I can if possible, unless they really are in a bad way, obviously. In this case, pretty good. So that's pretty much enough. It's going to acclimatise, I think, to the new soil pretty well, and that's going to go in there. And then here we go. Use the little pot, and then soil all around it. And then once I repot cacti, then I like to leave the soil dry for a few days, anything for a week to about 10 days, just to allow the roots to settle into the new soil and the new pot. As I say, I haven't really disturbed the roots on this at all. I didn't think I needed to. If the roots were very, very sort of all compacted and all matted together, then I will loosen them up a bit to get used to the new soil, but didn't have to do that. But I'm still going to leave about a week before I water this. It's always best to repot in the spring and summer, preferably the spring if you can do. And then gently tap around, and then here. Tap around to make sure all the soil gets all around and underneath the parts of the pot you want to reach. And that's it, easy peasy. As I say, I'll give that a water in about a week's time, and then I'm going to put that back into the polytunnel and get plenty of sunshine. So that's the first one. And now there's the second one, the Opuntia subulata gumby. And this is starting to come into growth. As you can see, lots of lovely, colourful little, it's sort of like leaves, if you want to call it that. I just want to mention with this particular Opuntia, the subulata, what's quite interesting is that these obviously are sort of leaves, if you can call them that. The leaf, they don't stay on. As the plant grows, this is why down the bottom here it has sort of bigger spines there. And as it grows, these form these new little leaves. And then these start to shrivel up. As you can see, these are starting to go yellow there. They dry up and go like that one there. And then spines will emerge from where these little leaves was. And that's quite unusual because people often buy this cactus and think that's how it's going to look and go, why are the leaves drying up and falling off? That's normal. It does that as it grows up, and then new spines will form in its place. Just thought I'd share that. And the same thing with this one here, the monstrose, the gumby. These are little red ones. It's gone red because it's in the polytunnel. It's been having a lot of direct sun. We've had a lot nice sunny weather lately, and it's caused it to go really red, which is a good sign, so not a bad sign. And the same thing with there. Here you go. And again, removing the soil. Now that's also good roots on there. Don't really need to disturb that, but again, I just want to gently loosen up the very bottom here, as you can see, just so it lets the roots acclimatise to the new soil. All this, by the way, is perlite, and although I'm not using perlite in the new soil, it won't matter. It will acclimatise into it. It's a similar mix I've used on this. It's a well draining one. And that's really all I need to do. I don't really need to disturb it, as little as possible there. Let's get some of the old soil off. The only time I'd really pull all the roots away was if it was signs of root mealybug. I'd have to treat it, or the roots were very decayed and things like that, and have to cut them back. But in this case I don't have to, so I can go back possibly into the same pot there. Just a little bit, probably a little bit more. So it doesn't really need to be repotted as such, just a little bit of a freshen up. A bit in the bottom. So there we go, like that. And then the same thing all around. And this is probably not the nicest of pots, but they're sort of easy to, because they're sort of flimsy, they're easy to shake the soil all around and squeeze around, so you know the soil is going all down to the bottom there. So I just thought I'd share the little repotting with you and a little bit of information and care on this particular Opuntia. So we have a lot of Opuntia and Austrocylindropuntia and Cylindropuntia and all the other types in our Cactus, all the Opuntia group in our collection. Quite wacky plants. There you go. So that's that one. As I say, Austrocylindra subulata. That one. And that's the Austrocylindra subulata, the gumpy. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that little video. And if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow cacti succulents, then please do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power from across the Edward Isle. And until my next video, bye, cactus power.